So welcome to this video. In today's world, we'll be discussing my journey from being an electrical and electronics engineer at Amrita University, a private university, all the way to becoming a digital specialist engineer at Infosys. I know the pathetic situation of non-CS students now in India, especially after COVID. The jobs have considerably declined and they're facing a lot of struggle, and I see a lot of non-CS students going to service-based companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro for 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs and so on. So in this video, I'll be sharing how to get into the role of digital specialist engineer, where the starting salary is 6.5 lakhs. The best part of becoming a digital specialist engineer is that the training would be just 3 months. So we'll be put on to the project in 3 months. Secondly, that's a great starting point to become a specialist programmer, also called the power programmers of Infosys. So digital specialist engineers will be given a chance to write an exam. After qualifying it, they'll be transitioning their career path into power programmer, where the salary is also huge, which is 9.5 lakhs. And thirdly, digital specialist engineers are generally trained in full stack, web and app development, in data analytics, and even in big data. So it's not just the training but also the experience that you gain at Infosys that helps you a lot to start your career, because all these areas are booming right now and digital specialist engineers get these kind of roles.
He knows a lot of languages. Agrawal, go!
C, C++, Java, Ruby, Python.
What about front end?
So coming to my journey, I bought a gaming laptop in the second year of my engineering, hoping that I would do some programming, MATLAB and microcontroller stuff and all that. But later, only in the third year, I have realized that I use my laptop for watching Game of Thrones, Stranger Things and all the unnecessary stuff, rather than using it for some academic use. So finally, in my third year, I thought let us put this laptop to some academic use, and I started a course in NPTEL called Data Structures and Programming using Python. And here I would strongly urge every second year student or third year student to start off with data structures and algorithms and Python. Because whatever stream you are, when you want to apply to any jobs related to computer science, these are the topics that come in the interviews. Data structures and algorithms is very useful because whatever company you go into, whatever segment that company operates in, and wherever you go to, data structures and algorithms will always be in the first round of the interview. Coming to Python, whether you want to do app and web development, or if you want to go to machine learning side or artificial intelligence side or some related to robotics, Python is everywhere. It's ubiquitous. So learning Python will help you a lot. So I thought data structures and algorithms using Python is an amalgam of both of these, and why not learn this course? So I started off with this course. This was just a 2 months course, and it was conducted by IIT Madras. And after completing this course, I got recommended by NPTEL to various companies. This is where NPTEL is useful. It not just gives you knowledge, it also recommends you to different MNCs. So I got recommended to Infosys, to Capgemini, to Uber. Even still now, after, it's been almost 3 years since I completed the course, and I still get recommended to various companies. So here I have the timeline of how I got recommended and all in this laptop. So the course was from August to September 2018, and the recommendation was sent to Infosys on March 18, 2020. So by the time I have completed my bachelor's, the recommendation was sent to Infosys, and then they have asked me to submit a resume to the Infosys for primary shortlisting. I got shortlisted in that, and finally the Infosys has sent me a mail saying that there will be a preliminary coding exam, and I have written a coding exam on March 22nd, 2020. Again, the coding exam was of 3 rounds. I had 3 questions, and I don't remember the time exactly. I think I had 2 hours of time to complete that. After the coding exam, after I cracked it, there was another interview conducted, which was in the month of April. So the exam was in the month of March and then interview was in the month of April. In fact, I had 2 interview rounds. In the first interview, initially they asked me questions related to electrical. They asked me on BJT, diodes and full bridge rectifier. I still remember this question. And then after, I don't know why they have asked electrical questions, but then once I have answered the electrical questions, they gave me a small programming question and then they asked me to share my screen and code in front of him. So he gave me 2 questions and he asked me to code in front of him. Once that interview was done, the next day there was another interview, and in that interview was completely verbal. I did not have to share my screen, and he asked questions on some core computer science related to DBMS. However, I'll try to make another video on all of the interview questions asked and the preparation that's required for this role. And finally, I got the result saying that I was selected for Digital Specialist Engineer role on May 11th, 2020. And then after May 11, 2020, you all know that the COVID cases were at the peak and there was no hiring at all. So I have further not received any call letter. I was waiting, and then I got a mail on July 8th, 2020 from Infosys saying that we are working on the joining dates and we will be assigning you the joining date shortly. A big leap of faith again, because I thought it would not be hiring in this COVID times. So finally I got my call letter in the month of October, to be precise on October 28th, 2020, and my joining date was 2nd November 2020. So you can see the timeline here. I have completed the course in 2018 and I got recommended in the year of 2020. And the exam was in the month of March, interview April, the result May, and then I got call letter in the month of October, and finally I joined in the month of November. So it's not a fast process, I must say. I don't know if it is due to the COVID condition or is it the same every time. But then let me tell you that this is a very comparatively easy process. I have heard people writing hack with Infi and then cracking it, and then they had multiple other interviews as well. But I think going into companies through NPTEL is much easier because it's not just Infosys. You'll get recommended to all other companies. You have other options as well. So all this is one side and Infosys training was on the other side. Infosys training was very hectic. And as I said, I'm an electrical and electronics engineer, so I had no clue of what HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, all these things were. I was trained at both front end and back end in just 3 months. So in the front end, I was taught HTML, Bootstrap, CSS. In the back end, I was taught Node.js, JavaScript, MongoDB. So all that was very hectic and I had to struggle a lot, but it's worth it. Finally, to conclude this video, I would like to suggest second year and third year students to start learning data structures and algorithms first, because wherever you go into, whichever company you go into, data structures and algorithms are always asked in the first round of interviews. And secondly, Python, as I said, since it is ubiquitous now, whatever stream you want to go into, Python is used. So it's always better to learn these 2 things. Secondly, there's no definitive time to learn these NPTEL courses. NPTEL conducts these courses twice a year. So be careful to register these courses. I think it conducts in the Jan and then in the later half of the year. So register for these courses and complete them. You'll get a certificate from IITs. Not just that, as I said, you'll also be recommended to companies. It's not just that you'll be recommended once. You'll be recommended many times over and over again to different companies over the years. So it's like one shot and then you'll be recommended to many other companies. Also, if you have knowledge on full stack development, or at least in the front end or in the back end development, you can ping me in Instagram. I can recommend you guys to Infosys. Please ping me and then send me your resume so that I can just see your profile and accordingly I'll recommend you guys. Then finally, if you want to know what questions were asked when I attempted the exam for DSC or what questions were asked in my interview process, you can ping me in the comments down below. I'll make a detailed video on all the interview questions asked and the syllabus related to Digital Specialist Engineer exam. And I think that's all for now. Let's meet again in another video. Thank you.